Good morning, guys. Guido in Hollywood. We're going to be here filming Ron today. Well, Ron, what happened with that building?
Building near Alta Loma.
Yeah.
That used to be a Playboy Club.
Really? I lived on Alta Loma, that big tall building, right? Oh, I did a little short on there.
Yeah, it used to be a Playboy Club.
I see models coming out of there too.
Yeah.
Right? Is that what they do there? Some kind of modeling?
And down the road from that was Dino's Lodge. Dean Martin owned it. And that's where they filmed 77 Sunset Strip every day. So we used to go and hang in there at night. And the night when Robert Kennedy got killed at the Ambassador Hotel in 1968, that night I met two nurses from San Jose, and I met the manager of Dino. His name was Paul. Him and I schmoozed the two girls, took them up to his house in the hills, and the first time ever I saw a swimming pool in the middle of this guy's house. A swimming pool. So we had fun, we enjoyed the girls. And another time I met Sparkles over here on Horn. And everyone knows the Mom and the Papas, right?
Yeah, Mama Papas.
So Michelle Phillips,
Yo.
the pretty one with Moms and Papas, walks in, sits next to me. We start drinking, we start loving it up. At the end of the night, I says, listen, let's go somewhere else. She said, oh no, I'm engaged.
I'm engaged. She was just in the news.
Spit with me. Now you're engaged?
She was in the news recently. The lead singer, right? Is she from the Mom and Papas?
No, that's Papa John. She was sleeping with him. She had a kid by him.
Yeah, she had with one of the band members.
Right.
But she was the lead singer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was in the news recently. I forget what.
Anyway, so that was one good time up there. And all the stars used to come into Sparkles. Every star you could think.
Where's Spargos?
Sparkles right here on Horn.
On Horn.
Right above us.
Yeah, I know that way. Okay, going west.
There's another Spargo in Beverly Hills on Cannon.
Was that
Beverly Hills on Wilshire on Cannon?
But Spargos is a restaurant?
Yeah, Spargos. This was the one that was the famous.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's still there?
Well,
oh, you mean Spargos behind right here? Oh, yeah, I used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
That's before we used to have a little entrance here where we could go. Now it's some kind of weird. They doing events there. It's not open to the public. I noticed it's private.
Wolfgang very well.
Wolfgang, yep.
And he had nothing. If it wasn't for his wife, he would have never been successful.
Really?
He was studying to be a doctor, and he was working at a place called Ma Maison. And he was making $100 a week. She saw, wrote him a note. She had him quit. She gave him a BJ. She had him quit. Ma Maison. They had people putting up money for him to open up his own restaurant, which was the successful Spargos on Horn here. And he didn't want much. You know, he used to tell me, I only want 6 tables. Yeah, right. But she was whipping him, and she made him successful. Then they got divorced. He opened up the other Spargos on Cannon, and he ended up getting caught in the car lot with a girl that was the hostess.
Really?
Yeah, he was having fun with her in the car, and his wife caught him. And she held the meeting, and she said, don't worry about your jobs. We're not closing down. I'm just going to divorce him, but everybody's still going to be here.
Really? She divorced him too?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Wow.
And he married the girl he got caught with. And the rest is history.
He has those. He has these new commercial. Did you see him? He's making pre-making mobile meals where you could order, and he gives you like weekly meals now. I just saw an infomercial with him. So he's doing it all around the country.
Yeah.
He brings it to your house basically, like they'll deliver it.
Millions.
Oh yeah, and Arnold Schwarzenegger gave him his start, right? Like gave him the money, something like that.
Right.
And my ex-roommate worked for him for 25 years in the Sony building, right? Is that where he had his office?
No, the kid was the bartender that you know. What's his name?
Rob.
Huh?
Rob?
Rob.
Yeah, but Rob worked in the office
afterwards, yeah.
for years.
Yeah.
And I guess in the administrative part, I'm not sure, but I know he sued him, and he won for over $3 million.
That's
Yeah. Well, it was defamation
Wow.
because he locked him in a room. He said, not Wolfgang, but the manager locked him in a room for 5 hours with no phone, no way to get out. That's imprisonment. And he got his pension and everything back. They said he was trying to use the P card.
You see Rob around?
I haven't seen him since, 2 years. I actually go to see if he's around at the Abbey. He's not there no more.
The Abbey's going to close.
What do you mean?
It's supposed to close. The Abbey, the restaurant?
Yeah, I never heard of that. On the corner there with David Cooley?
The gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I heard they were knocking down the whole block and stopping traffic, and they're making Robertson like a Out Street a mall. They petitioned.
I heard it's going to close.
Yeah, I read it in the paper. They're right now trying to get the permission to do it.
Oh.
So basically, they're gonna stop the traffic there and make it like a promenade from that end to the
Are
block.
you taping this? Dan
Yeah.
Tanner's on Santa Monica Boulevard. All the movie stars were going in there. One night I'm in there talking to a beautiful young lady, all set to leave with her, and who comes walking up is Roman Polanski. Now, Roman Polanski is a French director who years ago had sex with a 14-year-old at Jack Nicholson's house.
I remember that
He
too.
flew the country. He can't get back into this country. If he does, he goes to jail.
I just saw a YouTube on that yesterday. He said he can't leave his country. You're right. Crazy, right?
And so he ended up taking the girl I was talking to, ready to leave with her, but she saw who he was, and she jumped up like a little schoolgirl and out the door they went, and I was left holding my drink.
And then he ended up getting screwed for over on it? Really? Now, you know what the story I always concerned about? Okay, I got to remember his name now. Christopher Walken, the actor.
Christopher Walken.
Right, he's that actor that he was a dancer.
Yeah.
He was on a boat,
He was on a boat with Robert Wagner and Natalie Wood.
and she died.
Yeah.
And he was actually still, they're trying to say that he's suspicious. He's like, what do they call that?
She was drunk.
But they're thinking that he had something to do with it.
Yeah, she was drunk and she drowned.
She
got
drowned?
The boat, fell out of the boat and drowned.
But there's a lot of conspiracy theories going around
Oh,
saying that when the
Her
cops...
sister Lana Wood hates Robert Wagner. He's 94 years old now.
Really?
Yeah.
He's still around?
Oh yeah. He's
Wow.
married to Jill St. John, an actress, for years.
Yeah, they're saying a lot of stuff it's coming up now on YouTube about that story.
Right.
I never knew that about him.
Oh yeah.
Then yeah, like so many stories out here. We
I
used to
used
see
to
them.
hang with Tony Curtis. the
Tony
host.
Curtis.
And he was such a cute guy that if you're sitting around a table with people, he'd say, "Waiter, separate check."
Really? Oh, I hate people like
Yeah,
that.
he
Oh,
would say separate check.
separate checks over here.
Yeah. And then he would get into anti-Semitism all the time.
Really?
Yeah. And he tells me how many conquests he had. He had more girls than Sinatra. They did a movie called Kings Go Forth, and Natalie Wood was in it, and some other people. And him and Sinatra were doing Natalie a couple times a week. And
Really?
He told me all these stories, yeah. And he had a brother when I used to hang in the whiskey. He had a brother, Bobby. Bobby had a lot of mental problems. Bobby was a very sympathetic individual, and he ended up actually committing suicide.
Really?
I'd say.
And now who is this again?
Tony Curtis.
Tony Curtis. I remember him. I can't put a face though to the name.
Schwartz was his name. He was from New York, Jewish kid, became famous. Handsome. He
Really?
was married to Janet Lee. Jamie Lee is his daughter, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis had a father. Now I know how she made it.
Yeah, had a falling out with the
Wow. Cause I never I'm not saying I just didn't like her, but I understand now.
father didn't leave any money to the kids.
Wow.
No money.
No money.
Gave it to the young wife. Had a young wife.
Holy.
Left everything to her.
Wow. That's
40
something.
million, 50 million.
Is that right? A lot of people ain't leaving their children money, they said.
Wow.
Mina Kunis and Ashton Kutcher said they're not leaving their kids no money.
Wow.
They want them to earn their own money. That's amazing, though, to do that.
Little tidbits about.
Oh, yeah.
Those.
You got a lot of stories. That's why we're doing it live, like
In
letting
fact,
people.
I had a friend of mine. His name was Barry. He was married to Doris Day. And Doris Day was a famous singer. Made a lot of movies. Made a movie with James Cagney called Love Me or Leave Me.
I remember that.
Yeah, and she loved dogs. So he told me, he said, you know, Ralph, she puts the dogs, when we go to bed at night, she puts all the dogs on the bed. He said, I didn't know who I was sleeping with, her.
Her the dogs. That's freaking
I'll
hysterical.
leave you with that now.
That's amazing, right? That's
You
great
like that,
stories.
right?
Well, yeah, I'm letting people see that we're hanging out like we call it the Breakfast Club, and we're gonna have stories in the morning, Hollywood stories with Ron. He has a lot of them, and he's been around, and it's fun. People like to hear it straight from the hip. They're not trying to keep it real, and it's interesting to hear these stories and figure out the perception we had of certain people, to see what it's really about.
There's one last one.
Yeah.
I'm in a place one night, and I look to my, I stand at the bar, I look to my left, and Madonna's standing there by herself. So I said, aren't you Madonna? She said, who the fuck do you think I am? I'll end you with that one now.
No problem. Thanks, Ron. See you guys. We got another story from Ron here on Sunset Boulevard. We're going to call it the Breakfast Club. Hope you guys have a blessed day. And remember, if you're not living your dream, you're really not living. Peace.
I was